Why you got Sack and Juvie tatted on you? They not dead. I wouldn't tat nobody on me that's not dead. 2 days after that, these boys dead.
Well, it just which one were you close with?
Both of them. Every last one of them.
Mel's
Jace just got a major shakeup. A close homie leaked late-night interrogation footage that could change everything people thought they knew about Sack Chaser and Juvie. These November 2025 clips show Jacoby Mills, someone actually present that night, giving one of the clearest inside breakdowns yet. This isn't some shaky phone recording. It's official, raw interrogation footage that has everyone replaying it like detectives. Mills wasn't just a random bystander. He was in the red car prosecutors say was trailing the Jeep tied to the situation, so what he reveals carries serious weight. To understand why these clips are causing such a stir, we need to rewind.
Well, it just which one were you close with?
Both of them. Every last one of them.
Did you grow up with them?
Every last one of them.
On October 26, 2018, rising rappers Anthony YNW Sack Chaser Williams and Christopher YNW Juvie Thomas Jr. were found in a Jeep Cherokee at Memorial Hospital in Miramar after what was initially reported as a drive-by shooting. Cortland YNW Melly Henry claimed he rushed him there after the vehicle was struck. At first, it seemed like another tragic street incident, but investigators dug deeper, and the evidence allegedly told a different story. Forensic work and autopsy reports suggested that the shots may have come from inside the vehicle, specifically the spot where Melly was said to be sitting. This is exactly why the case sparked so much debate in hip-hop circles. Prosecutors say that around 1 a.m. on October 26, 8 young men arrived at New Era Studio in Fort Lauderdale to work on music. But according to the leaked interrogation tape, the atmosphere was tense and unsettling from the very moment.
Saying Kobe pulled a gun on her?
Yep, 5:30 that morning. She called out of work and she called. Wait, stop.
And you really
stop.
can't even tell Courtney. I know what.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
That's what she told Mariah too, because that's what Mariah told me. Jamie just called me at 8 and told me.
Melly called her at like 5:30 that morning.
According to Mills, the vibe that night was off. Everyone was acting unusually tense, not that typical playful, focused selves. Sack Chaser was moving with extra edge, even tapping people awake if they dozed off, which only added tension rather than creativity. By 3:19 a.m., the session had completely fizzled, and the group agreed it was time to leave. The group split into 2 vehicles. The red Mitsubishi carried Trivia Glass, Dantavius Withers, Jacoby Mills, and Adrian Davis, while the gray Jeep Cherokee carried Cortland Henry driving, Anthony Williams in the front, Christopher Thomas in the back, and Melly sitting behind the driver. Surveillance cameras initially captured both cars following the same highway route, first I-95, then I-595, and finally toward Miramar Parkway. Everything seemed normal for a late-night drive after a long studio session. But then, the red Mitsubishi rolled through the Sunset Lakes guard gate at 3:50 a.m. like usual, while the gray Jeep never appeared on cameras within the gated neighborhood. Cell phone records later showed the Jeep heading north, then west along a dark, isolated stretch near the Everglades, and eventually down US 27 to a dead-end road by a trash facility, completely cut off from traffic or witnesses. This is reportedly where the tragic incident occurred at 4:02 a.m. Investigators discovered a shocking twist. When the police searched the supposed drive-by location along Miramar Parkway, they found nothing. No glass, no casings, no damage matching the original story. The medical examiner confirmed.
Listen to that bitch. What he said? Bust a nigga head, something.
These revelations led prosecutors to argue that Melly and Bortland didn't just experience a tragic event. They allegedly fabricated an entire cover story, driving around with the bodies and firing into the Jeep afterward to make it look like a random attack. That shocking claim is part of why this case has captured so much attention in hip-hop history. The prosecution didn't stop with timelines. They also presented screenshots of Instagram messages, including one where Melly allegedly admitted, "I did that. Shh." They further argued that Melly had ties to the G-Shine blood set and had reportedly been learning the group's loyalty oath just 2 days prior, which prosecutors said added fuel to the narrative against him. The first trial ended in a mistrial in July 2023 because the jury couldn't reach a unanimous decision. Since then, delays kept stacking up, and the retrial is now officially set for January 2027, meaning Melly has been behind bars for over 6 years without a conviction. Meanwhile, his co-defendant Bortland accepted a plea deal in October 2025 for accessory-related charges, which only heightened tension around the case. The leaked interrogation clips are now shaking the internet. Jacoby Mills, also known as Teasy, is reportedly Bortland's blood cousin and was one of the people in the red car that night. His position gave him enough distance to survive and later tell his story, but close enough to know exactly what happened. The videos were recorded in January 2019, just months after the tragedy, well before most details were public, making his account especially compelling. The fact that the footage leaked in November 2025, right as the
It was already too late. We can't try to pull over and get back behind.
Was this some master plan to sway public opinion? Or did it surface because of ongoing civil cases? Or maybe it just popped up now thanks to discovery files. Either way, the timing is straight up wild. The hip-hop world blew up instantly, from major commentators to random users online. Some are calling the footage the moment that locks Melly in, while others think Mills is crossing the street code just to save himself. What makes it even juicier is that Mills keeps insisting he's no snitch during questioning, saying he's just trying to help his people. Yet the details he drops are so precise and damaging, it's hard to see who benefits besides the prosecution. And now we hit the chaos, the part where Mills starts breaking down a minute-by-minute recap of that night. And the way he lays it out is so vivid, it'll give you chills just hearing it. Mills begins by saying the vibe at New Era Studio that night felt completely off. They rolled up around midnight, but instead of the usual late-night grind, everyone was drained, zoning out, and barely paying attention. And in the streets, nobody wastes paid studio time unless something heavy is brewing. That's when the story takes a hard left. Mills describes sack chases, snapping extra hard, barking at people for dozing off and trying to run the whole room. And when someone disrespects the crew in front of everybody, that's usually the start of real tension, the kind that lingers. Mills also adds the sack chaser had a wild streak and was known for getting physical, matching rumors about ongoing money drama inside the group. People have whispered for years that certain members felt owed a slice of Melly's deals, and according to the leaked audio, Sack Chaser believed he was basically YWN's CEO and deserved half of anything Melly made. Then Mills dives into the car setup that night, a detail prosecutors called crucial. He says the Jeep had Bortland driving, Sack Chaser in the front seat, Melly behind the driver, and Juvie behind Sack Chaser. Mills himself was in the red car with Tay, Fetty, and Adrian Davis. Here's where it gets eerie. Mills claims he tried to get in the Jeep at first, but felt something pulling him back, like intuition screaming, "Don't go." Whether you call it instinct or something else, he says he sensed danger in that setup. He also mentions Juvie grabbing weapons from the studio before leaving, and that Melly had a brown satchel with what people assumed was a weapon. Prosecutors later pointed to this as proof that the whole thing wasn't spontaneous. When they reached the Sunset Lakes house, nobody had keys, so everyone waited outside until folks eventually went in and crashed. But around 4 a.m., Mills got a chilling call from his mom saying someone had contacted her, warning the group was gone. That kind of threat, hitting a parent in the middle of the night, yeah, that's beyond a studio argument. Mills says he then noticed multiple missed calls from Melly, including 17 to Drew, their videographer, which instantly told him something serious had gone down. But the moment that shook everyone most, Mills says Melly FaceTimed him after everything, pretending to cry with zero real tears, acting devastated even though Mills believed it was all a performance. Mills explains that in the streets, flipping emotions on and off like that is only something the coldest can pull off. And according to Mills, Melly stayed calm and collected right after it all went down, almost too calm. Mills claims Melly faked tears during the FaceTime, saying he was devastated, but Mills insists he looked more like acting than real pain. He also describes seeing Melly later at Fredo Bang's house, noting he'd changed into a tank top and gym shorts, a detail that raised eyebrows because switching clothes after a major incident can hint at trying to wipe ties to the scene. Other trial witnesses also mentioned clothing changes, backing up Mills's claims.
And Mills' version suggests the crew handled the disposal themselves, which explains why investigators came up empty. Through all of this, Mills keeps insisting Bortland wasn't built for that life. He paints him as someone who couldn't pull off violence like that, which matches why Bortland only took accessory charges instead of heavier ones. But Mills doesn't stop at the what. He dives into the why, and that's where things get messy. He even hints that the whole situation could have been a setup and compares it to other high-profile street cases. Then he drops a bomb, questioning how NBA YoungBoy supposedly knew details, claiming YoungBoy hinted at things through posts and a rumored remix. Now here's the key part. No federal records, no verified music release, and no official investigation tie YoungBoy to any of this. Nothing concrete backs that claim. But Mills' even mention in YoungBoy shows how tangled street politics and rap beefs get, especially when two crews have history. What makes Mills' account hit harder is how many 2019 details ended up matching evidence revealed years later. For example, he mentioned Juvie's thumb being badly injured long before the autopsy surfaced in 2025. He also accurately described where Melly was picked up by Fredo Bang, something only confirmed via cell records later. Throughout questioning, Mills keeps saying he's not snitching, claiming he's protecting his people and preventing worse from happening. At one point, he even says he fears for his family's safety because he spoke to investigators, showing the pressure was insane. When clips leaked online, the reaction went absolutely nuts. Hip-hop commentators like DJ Academics jumped on the footage immediately. Meanwhile, fans on Reddit, Twitter, and everywhere else debated whether Mills was telling the truth or just covering himself. Some called him reliable. Others said he broke the street code and couldn't be trusted. What makes it even more intense is how these revelations tie into loyalty and betrayal. In the streets and hip-hop, cooperating with law enforcement is crossing the line. But when friends are gone and another suspected of causing it, those rules get blurry fast. Now we step into the final chapter, the fallout. And trust me, the shockwaves from these leaked tapes are hitting hip-hop from all sides. We're not just talking one case anymore. This whole situation is reshaping conversations on loyalty, truth, street codes, and the industry culture around them. Let's start with the legal side because things just got complicated. These leaks dropped as Melly's team prepare for trial, and legal analysts say the timing is no accident. The footage likely can't be used in court due to authenticity issues, but that doesn't matter. The public has already seen it. Finding 12 unbiased jurors is almost impossible now, and lawyers will have to fight to keep the case fair. Some think these leaks tie into ongoing civil lawsuits from victims' families. In civil court, the rules are looser, meaning hearsay and outside statements carry more weight. That could explain why Fredo Bang suddenly got pulled into depositions just because Mills mentioned Melly showing up at his house. One name gets dropped, and suddenly the legal system is on you. Even big figures like 50 Cent are reacting, showing how deeply this story grips the culture. What started as one case is now a massive conversation on loyalty, power, and the fallout when fame and street politics collide. On the street politics side, things get even more tangled. Leaked audio from Sack Chase's family, recorded the day after, shows deep insight into tension in the YNW circle. They discuss money, control, and how Sack Chaser didn't want Melly signing what they called a devil's deal, showing the insane pressure behind the scenes. For years, whispers suggested this wasn't random, that it was about control and big money. When record deals worth hundreds of thousands are at stake and two people feel entitled to the same bag, things can turn dangerous fast. Leaked family audio even hinted at Melly's mom, including claims that a storage unit was open the morning after and she called out of work at 5:30 a.m., implying she knew something major before the public. Whether true or not, the timing raised eyebrows. Then there's the NBA YoungBoy angle. Mills questioned how YoungBoy allegedly knew details via posts and a rumored remix. Even without official proof of that remix, Mills' YoungBoy shows how deep these circles overlap. Past tensions between their crews mean in hip-hop, those connections can blow up into huge storylines instantly. Now, the biggest controversy, snitching accusations against Mills. He keeps saying he's not snitching, only protecting his people, but social media dragged him immediately after the leak. In hip-hop, the no talking to police rule is sacred. But what happens when silence means your friends get no justice? That's the line Mills was stuck on, and every choice carried serious consequences. Mills even said he feared for his family's safety because he cooperated, showing how real these codes are in certain communities. Snitching doesn't just bring judgment, it brings danger. This entire situation exposes uncomfortable truths about how money and fame twist relationships in music. When big checks show up, loyalty gets tested hard. These cases also fuel debates about how young black artists face the justice system. Some argue they're unfairly targeted, while others say forensic reports speak for themselves. Supporters claim Melly's long custody raises fairness questions, while prosecutors argue a case this complex takes time and the stakes justify the delay. Looking ahead to the January 2027 retrial, these leaked clips completely flip the case. Florida is still pushing for the harshest outcome, and analysts say a light plea is nearly impossible, especially with Portland already taking a deal and possibly testifying.